Hello and welcome everyone. I be back from my trip to Japan, and with that I have lots and lots of games on top of the stuff that I already had built up to show off. So it was kind of like, let's get to it. Hello, welcome. Trip was fantastic other than the flight. The flight part was quite awful. 12 hours there, 10 hours back. And that's not counting, the additional flight in America and the drive home. But the trip was really good, and I have a good bunch of games to show off from Japan itself. But as you can see, there's also plenty of other shit that I've had built up over the last few months here. So I am gonna try and show all the Japanese shit together, but let's save that for more around the middle to give people a little time to join who want to see that stuff. So let's get through some of the bazillion of other things I have real quick. So let's get started because we got a lot of things. Let's see, Floppy Nights. This was a limited one release here. This kind of actually reminds me, at least aesthetically, like the idea of having like a retro theme with a floppy thing, kind of like that Beast cassette Pokemon game. But when you look at the back, it's like nothing like that. It's like some kind of card game thing, which I guess kind of works with the floppy disk kind of thing. I wanted to pop in and say hi, glad you're home, but I gotta get going. Evening service soon. Oh, come ban. Come ban. I don't think you have the authority for that, so. No, I get it. Sure. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have a busy week. I said I might do some normal streaming during this time before my trip, but honestly, like that jet lag is pretty fucking awful, to be honest. Completely different time zone. Really fucks up your mental conscious sleeping habit a lot. That's probably the most sleep I ever had in a long time, honestly. So probably not gonna do any normal stream thing, but like I said, I do need to get these out of the way, so that's kind of why we're doing that today. So let's get going. So Disney's Illusionary Island. This actually, I believe, just recently got some DLC actually, but as you can see, it was on sale at Walmart for $20. So that was doing some of that cheap Walmart sale stuff. If anyone remembers when I was tossing that out, like, go to your Walmart, shitloads of stuff is cheap. Oh yeah, 14-hour difference, long time. The Snufkin video game on the Switch. As far as I understand, this is also on PlayStation, I think, but physically it's only on Switch. Limited One Games is doing the actual last day for the physical sale for the ESRB version of this, if you're interested in it. This is the English Japanese version, which does have English on it. So at best, the Limited One version might be a more updated build, which could be a good thing depending on the kind of bugs, assuming they even do that. I mean, they do have a bad track record with that kind of thing. So let's see. The Avalon Knights Never Yield. This is a super whale release. I'm not familiar with this one. I think this is supposed to be a Metroidvania style game. A lot of times I don't usually know too much about some of the games. Super One, Super. Oh my gosh, there's too many limited companies these days. The Super Whale games that does that. Here was one I was excited to actually see get physical. Finally, it was Castle Crashers on the Switch. I would have obviously preferred the Sony version of that, but hey, this is a game I've waited to be available physically for like fucking eon and beyond. So this was exciting to see finally get done, and I do kind of understand why they did the Switch, because it is a very popular console, sadly, even though it has some pretty broken things on it. It's a bit of a shame a lot of times. But yeah, I'm excited about that. We got the Edgeworth's 2 spin-offs that got ported onto console. We only ever got the first one on the DS. And that was considered a financial failure and supposedly was the reason why we never got the rest of the series physically for ages again after that point. Which, I mean, honestly, I hated that. Like, I bought all the fucking Phoenix White games, and then when that happened and we never got another one physically forever, I was so sad. I completely fell out of the franchise, which is a shame because I was really loyal to the franchise. So I don't know what the fuck caused that, but eh. This is a import which doesn't have English anywhere on the actual cover. It's a Metroid style game. I got it on a Play Asia sale.
Find your favorite movies on YouTube.
No.
Get MGM Plus.
News Metroidvanias. Now this is an interesting title. So this is called Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire. This was basically being advertised as indie arcade skies from the Dreamcast day, Arcadia Skies. This is supposed to be an RPG themed with airship battles and stuff. So that's actually very interesting because a lot of people have wanted Skies of Arcadia to get a sequel for ages, or a remaster or port or just fucking anything, honestly. And all Vice and team got was like a cameo in the first Valkyria Chronicles game. So that's interesting to hear about. So I pre-ordered it. I don't know if it's going to end up being really good or anything, but Skies of Arcadia is a very lovely Sega RPG from the Dreamcast GameCube era. So if that is your cup of tea, that might be something worth checking out. I did get... I only had Romancing Saga 3 on the Switch. This was cheap off of Play Asia for the PS4, which I would have preferred, obviously. It was something that later got pushed out. The Switch version still sells for a decent amount, so I thought, like, well, this is really cheap on a sale right now. Why not get that and just, like, sell the Switch version for some money back or something? Let's see. Lost Epic. This was also on sale. I'm not really familiar with it. It is some kind of 2D side-scrolling kind of hack and slash, maybe partially RPG thing. Looked okay, so I was like, well, it's on sale, so what can I do? This was also on a sale. This looks more like kind of a figuring out kind of game, maybe something kind of like what was that fucking game where you were on the boat as a little girl? I can't remember now. Brains kind of fried over all this whole trip. Something else that was on sale. This is a PAL VR game. Wandor, but I'm not familiar with it. It was again on sale, so I didn't have it. I was like, sure, why not? Because PlayStation VR games are probably going to start going up anyway. Now this, I heard a lot of good things about this. I heard if you like more older style survival horror games, I hear this was a grab, and again, it was on sale, so I grabbed a copy. It is the PAL version, not the American version, but I don't think that's probably going to amount too much. I did give in to the feel of missing out. The Final Fantasy, how did they look forward to it? The Anniversary Collection. So these reimagined or whatever of the original experience of 1 through 6. Honestly, the only real thing I'm very interested on this is 3, because we never got like an original version of 3 ever. I've played 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 in various ways, so those particular ones aren't really the end of the world. But I've been still kind of messing with the idea of doing kind of like a a We Play kind of day thing. And I think I kind of got the ground rule ideas I want to do with that. And I think stuff like that will that'll fit that kind of idea of what I'm going to do with that. But that's something in the future. Shadows, Oval Loathing. This is a Call of Cthulhu version of the Western of Loathing, or whatever the hell it was called. That was a really only limited one game release on the Switch. But that was we did do like a trial thing of that one time. It was kind of amusing of that, so it's something I do need to like pick back up of that. Iron Meat, one of the newer releases from Strictly Limited Games. This is supposed to be a pretty good gun game. I've heard good things about, so. Then Stellar Blade, which got the blessing of Nier Automata's creator Yoko Taro, and a lot of people praise this as being a really good hack and slash game if you like Nier Automata and that. So I think it was worthy of getting by. Like, I'll always have good faith in Yoko Taro's opinion. It was also interesting to learn that I believe it was the director had made he was like behind this Korean RPG that was on the PS2, so that was kind of interesting to also learn about. That was from the Yoko Taro comment on the game, so that was actually interesting to hear about. I actually own those two games. The sequel was on the 360, if I remember quickly. From the Walmart sale was this. It's some kind of ship simulating game. It was like fucking like, I don't know, like $10 or something. I traded in extras for some GameStop credit because they were trading in. So Sonic Origins Plus on the PS5. This is the slightly more updated version of this, but still has stuff that's download, which is a bit of a shame, but hey, and it was on sale, so can't really complain much about that. Gotham Knights was $5, so it's like, sure, you know, I can always go down for sale. Now, Helldivers, I got Helldivers with some trade credit from the local store here, so it was $30. It was a little cheaper. I played it some with some friends of that. You can play it with PC friends. Deep Walk Galactica, Danger, Darkness, and Dwarves. This was on PS4, a PlayStation Plus game. So this physical version apparently actually offers a single player offline kind of thing, which is probably not that big of a deal considering the game is focused around co-op. Yeah, it only has one player offline. There is no option to play multiplayer offline, so that's not too shocking now. So moving on. The Jet Set Radio inspired game, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I've heard very good things about this game, unlike that one game that Limited One Games did a long time ago, which was the same concept. It was supposed to be like the whole, oh, this is the Jet Set Radio indie game. And the big thing here is the guy who did the music, as far as I understand, did all the music for this game, which is, of course, just the extra cherry on the toppings. You know, it's the fantasticness. Yeah. Unicorn. The unicorn. How is it? Overlord. Okay, yeah, because it gets all kinds of special symbol things. But this is supposed to be an Ogre Battles style game. Heard pretty good things about it, so can't say too much horribleness. A lot of my friends, even in VR, were like, oh, this game's good. Sage of Sins. This was a Wet Arts game. It's a appears to be kind of like a Metroidvania game. I don't know if it's very linear or open. So that kind of depends. If it's linear, it's not so much a Metroidvania then. Plus, it needs some RPG aspects, but that was long ordered. Post Void. This is from Super Whale Games. This is one of the first PS5 game selections they did when they started moving away from just doing Switch. And that makes sense to do, because, you know, Switch isn't going to last forever. And depending on whatever the fucking next console they do, excuse me, whether it's successful or not, has mixed results in that. So putting all your excuse me again, putting all your eggs in the same basket could have negative ramifications if it ends up something like the Wii U or something again. So I think that was a smart maneuver for them to do to ensure they don't have problems like that. Now, this was before Video Games Plus did a reprint thing of this. This was actually starting to get very expensive, and I found a European website that actually still had it for a normal price, so I bought off that. Right now, it is on Video Games Plus, if you're interested in it. It's a first-person survival horror type thing. It's supposed to be very reminiscent of Feel, Western Moss. This was on sale on PlayAsia. It's a pretty discounted game. Oh, excuse me. It looks interesting. It's a Metroidvania game. I was very sad to hear from a tester on Does It Plays that it does have a horrible bug in it. Well, basically, if you do some kind of certain upgrade in the game, it causes it to crash, forcing you to need a patch if you're going to actually progress your character. In theory, it's still beatable if you're basically willing to play the game as hard as humanly possible by not upgrading, which is likely not going to be something I will pursue, so it's a shame to hear about something like that. Now, this is an online-only game, from what I understand. Meet Your Maker. It was a little bit discounted, not super discounted. I think it was about like $20 when I got it. I really liked the concept, but as far as I understand, it is a online-only game. Basically, you make your own fucking dungeon, and people go and raid it, and you try to get a treasure that's inside and get the fuck out. So it's both make a dungeon and exploring people's dungeons. So like the idea is really interesting. I haven't tried it yet. I definitely do want to, though. Being an online only game, I'd like to actually experience before it dies, but the concept sounds really interesting. I don't know if I do any good with the making the dungeon part, but trying to break into people's dungeons sounds like it's an interesting idea. Now, it's supposed to be very sci-fi robotics kind of like, so it's not very medievalish or that. But I'm not too familiar with it. I only heard of it by seeing it being on sale. So, but when I looked up a video of it, it looked very interesting. So, Worms Wumble. This was really cheap on a sale on PlayAsia, so I just tossed it in one of my orders. I think some of the content's download, so it's kind of let's see, the limited one games Ocean Horn 2 Knights of the Realm for the PS5. Then we got Devil Engine. I believe this is a bullet hell game. Yes, it's a bullet hell game. Probably something Pad's more familiar with. Then we got this is like a spooky game, and then I think it was a limited one. Yes, it was a limited one as well. This was number 86 of the PS5 lineup. They do so many fucking games now. Princess Farmer. This is a game I was thinking of maybe passing up on it, but I'm a sucker for farm simish games. But I don't know. This is more like a puzzle game looking at, so I kind of just I gave it a chance. I'm gonna give it a chance if we get around to actually trying it. But it was kind of like I was looking into maybe not buying it. The Atari Recharge number 3. These are supposed to be like special Wii updated versions of older Atari games, like completely like rebuilt in a more modern way of that. Here's collection 4 of the same thing. I believe the other 2 should be in here somewhere, unless they were the previous one. A little overpriced in my opinion when it come with only like 2 games, but I guess what can you do, White? What can you do? Wait, we got lots of stuff. I had a lot of packages waiting for me when I got home from my trip, and some of these Play Asia releases were in that. So what's interesting is I actually got the first game of this series here. This is a newer entry, which looks a lot like Vampire Survival. I actually tried it a little last night because I wanted to chill a little bit, so I was interested in trying it. Pretty interesting. I kind of like the concept because it's kind of like it has a story mode in a way, but it's still a lot like Vampire Survival in like having to, go through the motions of building up stuff of that, but you have a timer counting down that you can get boosted back up by doing missions and while building up your team and stuff. It has what's interesting about it is it has multiplayer, unlike a lot of the type of games like that, so that's actually pretty interesting. The Monster Cat Monster Camp 2 and 3 from Super Whale Games. They did the original Monster Camp game as well, so I don't know how updated these are. I do know with the third game they added the sheep from Cult of the Lamb into that, and I would hope that has that update in it. I hope. Oh no, silly me, I'm not paying attention to stream waiters thing, yeah. Hopefully that wasn't there for too long. Story meant stuff, so. Then we got Doof Wickening. Don't know anything about it. It was from Super Whale Games. Like I said, Super Whale Games always seems to find a lot of indie games. 75% of the time I've never really heard much about or anything about, so let's see what's next. The Into the Gungeon and Exit the Gungeon. So this is a collection of both Gungeon games. So Exit the Gungeon is a sequel, and it plays quite a bit differently from what I understand. Like, it's a side-scrolling survival kind of aspect, like in an elevator or some shit. So this is a type of game, honestly, I don't think I could ever really beat in a very legitimate sense, because it's one of those games where getting the like really good or lore enriching ending involves doing the hardest fucking shit in the game, and I would basically just be lucky if I could just beat one character, let alone like having to basically beat every fucking character and unlock the secret character that lets you get like the lore wishing ending and shit. Like I probably could never really do that, probably. It would probably be too hard for me, myself, and I'll just stick to Souls of Light. If you think you know I'll just go and keep doing what I'm good at and to see. Anyway, moving on with Switch stuff. We have Nightmare Weeper. This is sadly going to end up being a dupe console edition, because I also got the limited 1 version, so I probably will look into doing something with that copy. The War Groove 1 and 2 from Super Whale Games. So War Groove 1 had a PS4 version released physically in America. 2 has not, so this is currently the only physical version of 2 that I am aware of, so it's kind of a mixed bag on that, because I again would before having the achievements, trophies kind of concept as an extra bonus, as I don't usually really focus on those, but sometimes, depending if they make them fun, they can be interesting. Crowns and Pawns. I don't know anything about this game. The cover is kind of... doesn't really, like... I don't know, it doesn't really spring forth anything amazing to me. So I don't really know anything about it. It doesn't really bring anything to the imagination. So Canteen for the consoles. This was one of those things when that big Walmart sale was going on. These were like $10 a copy, and they traded in, I think, for like 15 or something of that. So I got some extra cases out of that. Neo Automata was amazingly fucking $10 too. Like that, I don't know how the fuck that ever happened. Like, that's crazy. $10 for essentially a complete version of Neo Automata, somehow fucking put on the fucking Switch. That, like, the only thing that's downloaded is some extra costumes they put in this version. Other than that, like, it has the DLC fucking on the cartridge. Like, I don't know how the fuck they did that. Like, the Dragon Quest 11 fucking people had to have did something with that. This is a limited. Yeah, this is a limited one game. I'm not familiar with it. Looking at it, looks like very nice graphics. Kind of actually gives me kind of a Wayman vibe actually in the screenshots. Another game I'm not familiar with. This was also limited one. Monster Train First Class. I'm not familiar with it. Looks like a card game. So then we got. Okay, now this is supposed to be a survival horror game. This was a Play Asia limited edition thing, and it has a very, how should I say, you're not going to really see it on the back of the cover because, you know, horrible quality of that. But, because I really need to look into, like, a new camcorder or something for a camera. This thing is pretty old. It has a very, like, PS1 era survival horror vibe. So, I don't know if it's really any good, but, I'm always down for some retro horror. Like, I'd love to see more tank survival horror games. There's been a little bit of an indie movement on that in the indie market, so I'm looking forward to hopefully a lot of those getting physical versions here. I know one just got one announced recently. This was another Play Asia physical limited edition thing. I believe it is a kind of like the Banner Saga kind of vibes looking at. So. Then we got Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. This was a limited one version. Seems kind of needless, honestly. I mean, like, hasn't this gotten a lot of versions that? Yunk. Then we got Goemon. This looks like it's a Pokemon game. Uh-oh. Looks like Nintendo's got another on the chopping block. When the fuck was this? This was limited 1/235. Yeah, it looks like Pokemon in the back. I don't even know anything about that one. Man, I can't keep up with all these fucking new games, you know. There's so many. So many, I tell you. So many. Dicey Dungeons. This is a rogue dice game. I actually knew a little bit about it, so I'm a little excited to see that one get a physical version. Hopefully try that. Let's see. Now, the little Croft collection. These are the top-down-esque games that were digital only. That limited one snagged up to do a collection of. This, I'm not familiar with this. Apparently, this was a Way Forward game. I had never heard of it before. But this is some collection. It says it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Woes versus Mama. Like, so this is like 5 fucking games. I don't I don't know like where these even came from. Like, it's something I never actually got the research into. I do remember it from the limited one video thing we did when they did their like yearly announcement stuff or quote unquote hype stuff of that. And it's some kind of like weird slapping game. It kind of gives me like Newgrounds Flash vibes in a way, kind of, because it kind of reminds me of some of the games that people release on that. So might be an interesting like April Fool's thing or something to do. Undying, this is an indie game. It's some kind of survival horror game where you have to like take care of your child and teach them how to survive the zombie apocalypse. So sounded interesting, looked interesting, so I was like, sure, why not? Then we have a this is a how should I say, a little bit of a risque game where you like hang out with bunny goals, and let's leave it at that. I don't know how mature it gets. I mean, I'm sure it doesn't get to the maturity range that would be banned on a console, since it's on console, but you know, it might be in like the Cinema Kagwa kind of wankings, I guess we could say. Moving on. Sonic Superstars was on sale at Walmart, so I grabbed the copy. It's cheap. 80 days and Overboard. This was a strictly limited release. If I remember correctly, Overboard. So this is 2 games. Overboard, I believe, is supposed to be about like a mystery about someone murdering a wife's husband. 80 Days, I'm not really familiar with that. So, moving on. So Cosmic Fantasy Collection. These are 2. I believe it's 2 games. Yeah, it's 2 games. These are supposed to be really well-known RPGs that were on the PC Engine. I've never played them personally. I've known about their existence, but I don't really know a whole lot about them. So I did hear somebody found a bug in one of them, which I'm not really sure I understood. Like, I watched a clip they posted. I'm not really sure what the bug was, because the game didn't freeze or anything. Didn't have a greater context on that, so that might be something we might experience ourselves at. Let's see. I'm not familiar with this one. This was, I believe this was released on Limited One, but this is one of those games that, like, ain't branded there. That it was like under some kind of like deal with a publisher. That, so I'm not really familiar with that. I know they did that like 2 other wheel times with some publishers. They put their games for sale on their website, but it's not actually through them at all. So the HD version of this game, this is supposed to be a interesting, very aesthetically interesting game, but like gameplay wise, not necessarily like the greatest game of all time kind of thing. Like, its aesthetics are more interesting than the gameplay, essentially, from what I've always understood that. But oh man, so many games still to go through. Ooh, going. Fog Detective, the quote-unquote entire mystery. This actually just got a new game, so they'll probably do like some kind of case 2 or something if they ever do a collection. This is a collection of 3 cases. This is supposed to be a very light-hearted game, so play as the second best investigator. I always find that kind of thing kind of humorous. This is supposed to be a very humorous detective series, a non-serious kind of thing, so might be something to check out for a bit of more of a silly mood kind of thing. Let me arrange some of these here a little bit. I'm setting these all down in a box beside me here. Better do this little. Alright, moving on. Cavern Dreams. The guy in charge of Does It Play actually did a early test of this for Super Whale Games. I think he said the camera kind of bothered him a lot about it. Other than that, I don't think he reported any actual real issues aside from fighting the camera some, which is always a bit of a mixed bag from person to person, because, you know, like, I don't mind, like, tank control type games for the most part, and a lot of people do that, so. Cassette Beast, this, we mentioned this just at the beginning, basically. So this is a Pokemon game with cassette tape aesthetics. From what I understand, the cassette tapes are basically your Pokeballs, from what I understand. Told nothing but good things about the game, so that's something to look forward to if we ever get around to it in my lifetime. Streets of Rogue, don't know anything about it. Again, that's a super whale game. Oops, sorry. Then the Samanigo Party Central. This was actually surprising to actually see. This is the kind of game I thought would never get a sequel. Samana Amigo. Man. Words. Anyway, I have the Wii version, which is supposed to be the Dreamcast version with probably some songs in and out of that from copyright of that. They gave him a new look. They got rid of his soprano and stuff. That kind of bit of a shame. Hopefully, maybe that's something you can unlock in the game. Oop. Yeah, forgive me. I'm walking around my mic here. Haven't really played it. Got it on a sale. Apparently did not do very well, sadly, because it kind of went on sale really fast. So it's a bit of a shame. Shame. Let's see. Dream Cutter. This is supposed to be, from what I understand, a Metroidvania or a Metroid game. I'm not quite sure. It supposedly has a little bit more maturity in it. So I'm not quite sure how that. So yeah, moving on. Beholder 2. So now I believe we have all the Beholder games physically. It's kind of weird how, like, Wet Arts did 2, then 3 got retailed, and 1 was done through a PAL company, so it's all a different PAL company. I mean, Wet Arts is a PAL company too, to be fair. Princess Maker 2. I was originally going to get the PS5 version of this, but then when they announced they were going to censor it, I said, fuck that, I'm just going to get the Switch version. And I get the content that they censored is a controversial thing. Don't get me wrong on that. That is understandable. But, I mean, it's fiction, so it's like, who really fucking cares? I mean, if you're gonna care, why don't you care about the bazillion people you murder, or the towns you nuke, or the places you give disease to, or the people you slit their throats in online games? Like, it's like, you get what I mean? Like, that shit's also just as greatly awful, and I don't see as many people freaking out about that. Like, it's fiction, it's not real, it's stupid. So, but, you know, maybe I'm just too simplistic on it. But I get why, though. I mean, it is not a good thing, but, you know, it's, you know, sometimes drama and shit are made from horrible things, you know? I mean, that's, like, the argument I've made when, like, Anita Sarkeesian was a thing and bitching about female characters. It's like, well, you know, when you make a female character with actual deep plot and shit, you get people like you, bitch, like, this happened, that happened, and it's like, it's character development, you stupid idiot. Anyway. Let's not get into a horrible, giant, long rant of that, should we? Anyway, we got a still gigantic pals here to keep going through. The World Champions Edition was really cheap on PlayAsia, so I just bought that. I don't think that's a game I'm gonna really enjoy much myself. Let's see. The SNK collection on the PSP. That was actually not too bad of a deal, because the Wii one's pretty expensive. So I forgot how you pronounce this game. It looks like it got like I think it's like Maids of the Dead. You can see on this card extra thing some of the English logo of that. This is supposed to be kind of a top-down shooter. I think it's a little bit of Vampire Survivors, a little bit, just a little pinch, just a wee little teeny pinch. Then we got this is doesn't have any of the English titles on here. I forgot what it was called. This is 2 games though. You basically try to survive the streets as a stray cat, and yeah, it's 1 and 2, so it's a collection of 2 games. I'm not really familiar with it, but you know, it was a interesting little idea. It was on sale, so grabbed it. So now this, like, we got the remake thing of the original game of this digitally. As far as I know, I don't think it got a physical release anywhere actually in the world for the remake thing of that. But the Famicom detective thing got a sequel, which is this, which did get a physical, and I hear it's really good. I hear it's really good. So it's kind of a shame that the Famicom detective thing, the original thing, didn't get a physical. I would love it to, because, I mean, this is supposed to be a sequel, so having the context of that would probably be useful. I could look into just getting the original Famicom version and play, like, what I would imagine probably had been translated, probably. I don't know for sure, but probably has. I hope there's some bad localization in those remakes anyway, so, you know, it might actually be a better way to do it anyway. But, or they might give us one now, maybe, potentially, if this sells decently, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of dependent, and, yeah. But either way, you know, I wanted to support it, because, you know, I like a good detective. Oh, excuse me. I like a good detective story of that, and it's just kind of interesting to see them do a sequel for such a really fucking old game. I mean, you don't see that very often. So, Food Goals 2. I have the Food Goals 1. We haven't played it. It's supposed to be like a mix of visual novel and running a restaurant kind of simulator thing. And we got more Sodisha Quantum Arrow. This was on sale on Woot.com for like fucking $10. It looked like you play like some kind of fireman and like some fucking hellscape thing. I don't know. It's like Doom is like a fireman. It's kind of what the vibe it gives me when I checked it out. Rocket Knight Adventures. We Spark. This is a collection of all the Rocket Knight games. So, originally I thought it was just 2, but it's actually 3 games. So you get Rocket Knight Adventures, Sparkstar Rocket Knight Adventures 2, and Sparkstar. Now, I believe what the Sparkstar games was, there's one on the Genesis and one on the Super Nintendo, and they were both different games, if I remember properly. And I exported this. I feel like this was a shame not to include the 360 sequel, or to at least actually offer that. Also, they might do that down the road. Some I could see them do that. They've been working with Konami quite a lot. I heard there was a bug in the boss rush mode, but otherwise, I haven't heard anything bad about it. I'm not too concerned about boss rush modes myself, but yeah. So here's a strange title. So this is by a guy who wanted to parody the CDI Legend of Zelda games, and he actually went as far to fucking get people who actually worked on the fucking games to work on this. Now, I've heard very good things about this game. While I've heard it is both a great parody while actually being fun gameplay. So, that should be pretty interesting. Like, you would think the people who had anything to do with those games would probably never get hired in the game industry again, like anyone probably related to Concord. So that's kind of funny. Maybe in a few decades, the people in Concord will get contacted by somebody wanting to do a parody of their game, Maybe. Maybe. Anyway, moving on. Grounded, fully yoked. Don't know anything about this. This was a limited one release. I believe it was originally an Xbox game. As you can see, it does have Xbox Studios on a fucking Sony game. Man, have we came a long way, haven't we? We came a very long way. Now we're seeing fucking games of our competitors on each other's consoles in a limited capacity, but yeah, that's how expensive fucking AAA games have gone, where the competition needs to actually sell their fucking games on their competitors' consoles to fucking make more money. Honestly, I have to continue saying, like, I feel like AAA games are way too fucking bloated. These companies really need to look at what they're doing with all their fucking money, and we evaluate how they're doing this shit. But again, different subject. Fort Souls, I don't know anything about this. Is this a limited game? No, I must have got this on a sale. Probably off Loot.com. I don't actually remember getting this. I know the Loot.com has a lot of fucking shit goes on sale for like $5 a lot of times and shit. So, I'm going to assume that was one I got there. Dark Pictures is the first Dark Pictures I think I've gotten. I think it was on sale on Video Games Plus for like $7, I believe. I know a few of those are broken, a few of them aren't, so I'm not sure which one that is. So this was on sale on GameStop. This is supposed to be a Metroidvania game that's really crazy colors and art style to it. I've heard it's actually going up in price, I heard, which is kind of weird that it was on sale on GameStop a little bit before I heard that, so I don't really know much other than that about it personally, to be honest. Shima Tensei 5 on the PS5. This is a Steelbook edition. I got on sale because I did buy the Switch version brand new, so I was like, I want that, but I don't want it for full price. So it did quickly go on sale, and I used my $5 coupon on it, so that all kind of helped out on that. That's exciting to, of course, see. Air Twisted. This was a strictly limited game. It's supposed to be like what's that? It's not Hovel. It's a Sega game. It's very old Sega arcade game. What was it again? Crap, I can't remember what it was called. Shit. What was it? It was something with an H. I'm pretty sure. Halloween 2023, The Silenced the House. This was a game I initially skipped out on. It is a Wet Art game. They did it as a Halloween thing last year, and or previous year, or I don't know. But at some point they did it like as a Halloween thing. It's some kind of visual novel adventure kind of game. It looked pretty blah to me, and it was a Wet Arts website only game. And because the shipping cost from there, I passed on it. But then Video Games Plus did some sale after like several months that went, because it was also like I think like a 1 month order kind of thing. They did that with another Halloween game that was like some weird farmer game that I also passed up on the same way, but then it showed up on a Video Games Plus sale. So I ordered it, and that did the same thing. There was a Video Games Plus sale, and it showed up on it, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead. It's it's a little cheaper on that. So this was a Woot.com on sale. I think it was 15. Don't know anything about. Somebody on Does It Play said it was an interesting horror title. Another one I got off Woot.com was the House of the Dead remake, and it has one of those weird covers where the image kind of moves based on the angle, so it doesn't show up in the camera light. That was on sale. I've heard pretty meh things about that. Deathmark 2, which or was it? Is this the fourth? Wait, I thought Experience an all new tale. Yeah, this is supposed to be a sequel. Maybe it was. I'm trying to remember the. It doesn't have a 2 in it. Was it just called something else? Wait. Kind of confused here. That. Deathmark. It had a different cover. Spirit Hunter Deathmark in the whole game. It is the first entry in Spirit Hunter series. It was originally released. And the game was published worldwide in both English and. Yeah, this is a Spirit Hunter. It's supposed to be 2. Oh, I see now. I couldn't see the. Like, there was 2 red lines where that window with red is. Okay. I was kind of, like, confused. You can also see it on the spine, but it's also harder to actually see without the light there. So, I was kind of confused, though, for a second, because I was like, what? What? Anyway. Moving on. But yeah, I don't know much about that series. I haven't played it yet. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. It was like $5. Okay, it was $10. It's White Hill. But it's kind of a blah version, so Flintlock. Here, this is a bit of Bloodborne Souls kind of elements to it. So, I also heard it was getting a little hard to find, so I snagged a copy. The Oregon Trail. I have a lot of fond memories of the Oregon Trail on the Apple II. Here, this is a pretty interesting remake of the whole thing, so I snagged a copy. It looks aesthetically very nice in that. So, South Park Snow Day. This was like fucking $9 or $5 or something on Woot.com. So I snagged the copy. It was pretty cheap. I bought it. It's a pretty meh game, but when cheap, could be okay. Astral Flame Starfire. This was a Red Art Games exclusive on the website, I believe. Got with some other stuff, which I believe was also this, the Last Night of Winter. And this is probably another one I got there. Yeah, Plant Club Edge. And we got the Fumanium of that. I believe this is a Metroidvania-esque game, I think. Or no. This is okay. So wait. So this game has a weird, like, this is like, how can I say? This is like a strange Cuphead knockoff game. I recognize it now when I looked at the back. I'm like, oh, that game. I was confusing it with that Dream Cuddle thing. Broadsword, this was like $5 on Amazon. It's from a budget company, the GS2. Probably not really that good, but it was like cheap, so I was like, yeah. I have played the first game of this on PS4. The sequel was like $10 on Video Game Plus, so snagged that. I was like, sure, why not? It's on sale, so why not? Give me a second. I noticed I got a Discord message, but I can't change my Discord because it'll mess up the song thing. So I'm gonna look at my phone real quick, see. Alright, I'll respond to that when I'm done with this. Resident Evil Village for the PS5. This has a VR update. I'm very disappointed that it's not on this. This is the Gold Edition. It comes with the DLC in it, which, from what I understand, is also not on this. Let's see. Contains the village-based disc. Yeah, so all the new additions, like the third-person mode and stuff, are all supposed to be downloaded. That was new content they did with this version, so I'm not really quite sure how I want to play 8, because like back in the original announcement, I was really hyped that they would do VR with it off the bat, because 7 was so well received with VR. It was very well received, but I guess it was too niche of a player base, because to be fair, not everyone had the PlayStation 4 VR, and the VR mode was exclusive to PS4. So I would imagine the majority of the player base played through it as a FPS versus the VR mode, which I do think is a bit of a shame, because honestly, like, when I played the first person mode, because you have to play it in Ethan Must Die or that birthday thing, it was just so, like, it felt like someone put like a chain ball on my ability to fucking aim. Like, it was so different after playing through the whole game in VR. So it's kind of a shame in a way to me, because I was really hyped for it, and like the fact that it didn't come with VR until way after it came out really staggered my interest in it a lot. But we'll probably go through the VR mode probably in it, but not sure quite yet. Disgaea 7 was on sale, so snag the copy. The new Saga game, pre-ordered 100% for full price, English on it, yay! Saga games are always so weird. The only one I really hate that was unlimited on PS2. Like all the others, at least I find like some kind of redeeming interest in. That one I just never got into. Backbeat, this was a limited one release, I think, or. No, I'm pretty sure I remember this being a limited one, I'm pretty sure. It's a PAL version. Is this one of those things where they didn't brand it under them? Huh. I'm pretty sure I got that unlimited one, I thought. Then, the Force Cathedral. This was a limited one, I believe, as well, yeah. Not familiar with it. It looks like some kind of really strange, game though. Looking at the back. Strayed Lights. Don't know anything about this particular one. It's a limited one as well. Rogue Legacy 2. I have played some of Rogue Legacy 1 before. Rogue Legacy 2 came out in a very different way. They released it like as an early access game, so I'm not quite sure how that went. I didn't hear as much about Rogue Legacy 2 as much as Rogue Legacy 1, so then Batboy. This was also a limited one title. Oh boy, that's a lot of stuff to go through. And with that, I think let's start on, I think at this point, getting into some of the Japanese stuff that I grabbed, because I think we've gave a lot of time. So let's get into the Japan shit, shall we? Yes, that's right. I had some sitting on the side here because I had that much shit here. Anyway, moving on. So, I picked up that Capcom Dinosaur game. This was like 400 yen, which was like $250. And I'm like, well, sure, it's still selling for $30 on Amazon, so, you know, I'll buy it for that. Why not? I also was able to get the Dragon Quest game that's based off the anime manga series thing that they had. This is selling for about 40-50 bucks if you get used to that. I got a brand new sealed copy for $10 in yen. Like, I'm like, damn. I was like really surprised how cheap you could find a lot of these games from eBay. Hey, Pad, you came in at a fantastic moment because I'm showing off the games I got from Japan. You literally came at the right moment because I was just about to grab one of the interesting titles I got in my hand here. I have a game I never thought I would ever see physically, let alone own. It is the Gurgly Horse Show Soul Collector. So this, as far as I understand, is based off a show that was in Japan or something. I'm not too familiar with the IP, but the game I'm a bit familiar with. Not a free giveaway time. People wish I was giving this away. So this is a Willy Whale Pal in Japanese game. It's very expensive on eBay. You're usually looking into like the 80 price tag for a copy of this. You're not going to usually find it for very cheap. I got this for $40 in yen. So it was a discount because I know Pad probably won't like this. It does not have its booklet, but the disc is in pristine condition, and as you can see, it comes with its original case of that. But yeah, if it had its booklet, it would be way more expensive. I think because what's interesting about the shop I got from, yeah, here it comes. I know. So I got this from Book Off. No, it costed too much. So Book Off, I definitely recommend going to Book Off if you go to Japan. Very good deals. So they show the original price, and then for everything that's wrong with it, they discount it. So originally it was gonna cost like, I think $70 in American money. Well, you know, the equivalent of $70 in yen. But they discounted it because it didn't have a booklet, which made it like $40 in American dollar. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so tongue tied. The equivalent of yen into 40 American dollars. That so, I was like, sure, yeah, it is a game I've heard a lot about, mostly because of just it being hard to acquire. So, and another game I got for a good discount, Wizardry on the PS2. So this Wizardry game also sells for a good bit, and I know, here it comes again. It has no booklet, so it was on a steep discount. Again, disc is in pristine condition now. So those were really good on discounts. Now those were basically the only really expensive games I got in Japan. Basically all the rest of these games I show off from Japan were ungodfully cheap. Trash? What the hell? Well, you know, two games I was actually excited to find were the sequels to Mad Maestro, actually. So, Mad Maestro was a game Ubisoft published under a brand they called Fresh on the PS2. That had two sequels, a Christmas one and some other one. And I found both of those for like 250 yen each. That's like $1.50. Like in American dollars at the current exchange rate of yen. So I got these both for less than $5. I liked it, Mad Maestro, and these are And basically most of the rest of these are all complete, like disc and booklet and that. So this one actually has 2 discs in it, interestingly enough. I tried to do this with one hand. So, but yeah, most of the rest of these things I'll show off are all complete and ridiculously cheap. So those are, and I checked eBay prices, obviously, because obviously if I could get it cheaper online or something, which there was one DS game I actually found. It was a 3DS game that was still on sale on PlayAsia. That was like $20 cheaper. The game was ungodfully so let me put this simple. If the game was a gigantic booba game, like it was all booba, like it was a lot of money in Japan. If it was PS2, PSP, 3DS, didn't matter, or original DS, if it was a booba waifu game, it was a very costly money, basically. But yeah, there was like this mature weighted 3DS game that was like, I don't know, like 20,000 yen. I'm like, what the fuck? Now the gameplay looked interesting, which is why I looked it up. But it was kind of like a beat 'em up like game of that. So I looked it up. It was way cheaper on PlayAsia. So if I do consider getting that particular game, I would get it on that. But like a lot of this stuff I looked up on eBay, people are selling it for like $20+. I got for less than like $5 in most of these cases. So let's see. I did show off the Switch sequel to this. As I said, I had pre-ordered the Switch sequel to this, and I found a copy of the original Famicom. So I was like, I guess I gotta get that now since I'm getting its sequel. That's supposedly considered a really bad game in Japan, the Famicom game of that. So that was more like just for the memes, honestly. So some PSP stuff. One of the SD Gundam games on the case is a little weak on the side with the snaps. On the PSP, this was 200 yen. It is complete. It looks fine. It was 200 yen. That's like virtually nothing right now. Nothing. That's like nothing. Then this was 100 yen. It is apparently a Tales of game, because it does have Tales characters in the pictures in the back. It was 100 yen. Again, it is complete. There was nothing wrong with it. 100 yen is basically barely maybe like 90 cents or something. Like, that's cheap. That's cheap as fuck. Then now this is a Monster Hunter spin-off. It's basically a Bejeweled game. It was like 800 yen, so that's probably more than what it's probably really worth in that way, but yeah. You can actually find virtually nothing about it online though. Now here's an interesting one. Tales of Fandom Volume 1 for the PS1. Complete. This was like 400 yen. So people are selling these for like $20 on eBay. So again, really fucking cheap. If you're interested, like just Google some of the price conversion, because even if the yen goes back up, I still imagine it's still actually pretty good. Let's see. I want to focus on the Japan trip stuff right now here, so I'm going to put that one Vita game. I do have one more PS1 game here. This is a Hunter x Hunter. This is a mystery dungeon-esque Hunter x Hunter. It was like 300 yen. Again, it's complete. Looks fine. Nothing wrong with it. Then 2 Vita games I got. This is a level 5 game. I never heard of it. Time Travelers. Supposedly, looking it up, it is identified as a game with quote-unquote no genre. So, yeah. I don't know if it plays on the Vita TV, but, yeah, that's kind of a strange game from that. But yeah, that's level 5. Level 5 makes a good game. So that was like I think that was like 1,000 yen. And then we got Tales of Innocence All, which is something that got actually delisted recently. So I wanted to grab a copy before somebody started jacking the price up. I got that for like 1,200 yen. And again, those are really cheap. Like if I do a Google on that real quick. 1,000 yen to US dollars. So that's according to Google $6.69. So you know that is again pretty fucking cheap. I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to see why there's a lot of fucking imports on eBay for like $20-$40. I kind of wonder if people just fucking go to Japan, spend like $100 on a bunch of shit that's just like $5 and under, and then come back and sell it like 20 plus each. Because that's a pretty good whack there for what it seems. Okay, wait. I forgot about this one. This is one more game that I got was a bit pricey. Another Wizardry Japan entry. This one wasn't as bad, but it does sadly feature the same issue where it does not have. It has a insert for a cover thing, but apparently I guess it had a separate manual part from that. So again, it was a bit cheaper than what it normally goes for, which is nice because it's expensive. Okay, that should have been the last actual expensive thing. This was probably the 4th or 5th expensivest thing I got, but 3,000 yen is not too much. I mean, 3,000 yen if we do a conversion on that. That's $20, so that's not too bad. This was going for more on eBay, so and it is something I'm actually familiar with. I watched a YouTube video on the subject matter of this game. It is a very interesting Konami game, if I remember correctly. I think yes, it was a Konami game. So it was interesting to just randomly find looking at Book Off. So I grabbed a copy when I double checked the ongoing price. It is complete. Its manual is like the first page is made out of like a interestingly different material than normal. So now there are a bunch of DS games here I've never heard of and shit. And just basically looking at the back pictures that most of these are RPGs, and the backs will just hopefully like enough to interest me. These are all like 500 or less yen, so these will virtually barely a few bucks. So I'm not familiar with most of these. Like I said, these are just out of the blue buys because the backs or like looking them up on YouTube were just enough to look interesting to buy in it. Now here's a Tales game. So, you know, I still have several of these like spin-off Tales crossover games I haven't got. Again, super fucking cheap and complete. I'm kind of amazed. Now, here's something I am a little familiar with. So we did get this game as a digital download, and it was supposedly considered like awful as fuck. This game was like 200 yen. I did not even know this had a physical in Japan. And it, assuming this is the manual, the manual is just a fucking slip of paper folded up. If that doesn't tell you enough about the game. But yeah, this was cheap as hell, and like I said, I've always heard it's a awful game. So that for like 200 yen to laugh at maybe of that. This looks like an interesting little RPG. Again, I don't know anything about it, but yeah, it has like a screenshot where it looks like you have like a giant army. They're like fucking fighting each other. It kind of reminds me of a Sega Saturn game. I can't remember what its title was off the top of my head. Pad may be able to slip that in. I'm sure he probably would. He's a big Saturn person. So yeah, these both right next to each other. No, where is it? Where is it? So Taku Drum Master. I came across 2 DS entries of that for like 250 yen. Again, that's like virtually nothing. Then this I'm kind of familiar with. So this is a level 5 game. And you might notice the little Professor Layton down there. It's supposed to say something like Professor Layton recommends or something. These are supposed to be puzzle games in the vein of stuff like Professor Layton supposedly or that. I've known of their existence, but I never picked up either one. This is number 2. And again, it was cheap as fuck. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. Now this game I picked up, it is an RPG, but I picked up I can't be the only one that looks at the artwork and says this is so Saga looking. Like, I swear the artist has to be the fucking person who worked on like the majority of Saga art. Like, it looks so much like Saga, but it's published by Benstro, which does like the Summon Night series and stuff. So, yeah, like, I wanted to look that up when I got home, because I'm very curious to actually see another Monster Hunter spin-off game. We never got any of these spin-off games with the cats released here. Another game I don't know jack shit about. I think it was like 200 yen or something. Let's see. Now this is a Konami game. I've never heard of this game at all. It was 200 yen. It looks like it's a weird mashup of RPG and other shit. So I don't know if this is any good, but like I was like, why not? I never heard of it. It's a Konami game, and it's only 200 yen. Okay, now that's something else. Let's see what else we got here. That technically had to do with the Florida trip. Let's see. No, I gotta get through because we got a bunch of PS2 stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, so first thing that's really interesting on this stack is a FromSoft game I never heard of. So this is a FromSoft game. Never heard of it. It's like a hack and slash game of some samurai that is complete. It was like 600 yen. Then it's FromSoft. So I mean, like, how can I say no to that? I like FromSoft stuff. So. Then we got Tales of Fandom Volume 2. Now, this is a funny story. So this game was priced at 850 yen, which is still incredibly cheap. But the 8 was really faded. And on the receipt, the guy cashed it out at 50 yen. 50 fucking yen. This is complete. This is complete in good condition for 50 yen. Now, do you want to guess how much 50 yen is? What is 50 yen to US dollars? I'm going to tell you what the conversion rate right now on Google is. 33 cents. That is probably the cheapest fucking video game I've ever bought in my life. Yes, it's complete. It has its manual, it has the disc, it has its original cover art for essentially 33 cents. Pennies. 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 I don't know how he did that. Like, I could see the 8. It was faded. It was faded. But, like, He cashed out at 50. That's... I don't know. Another weird thing about this particular game. So, let's just get out of the way. It'll be something I'll go over in the Japan video. But, yes, they're all adult stores. And this particular store was half video games, half adult store. And weirdly enough, the cashier was on the entrance of the adult store side. So, don't know why they did that, because I guess that means only adults are buying the video games, unless you have an adult with you. It's like, stay over here, Junior. I have to pay out in the Forbidden Land. But anyway, I don't know. Like, they'll probably make more money off the adult side, probably. The game side, like, a lot of games in that store were cheap as fuck. Like, I don't think I saw anything really over 1,000 yen in that store. So, I imagine they probably got, like, bulks of games and just slap prices on them, probably. So, that's probably not a lot of the wages at that store. But, yeah. That's also where I got that FromSoft one, too, oddly enough. Like, when I was looking through that shit, I was just like, I saw the FromSoft logo, and I was like, ooh. Shining Force EXA. This isn't incredibly pricey in America yet, but this was like literally like fucking like 400 yen, which again is like fucking nothing. So I was like, sure, why not? If I never get around to getting a copy, I guess I have one. Popo Loco Crisis. I got 2 games that were on the PS2 from that series. I'm not very familiar with the overall series of Popo Loco Crisis. We only ever got the PSP mashup of 1 and 2, which are considered god-awful because they cut content out of the 2. They completely changed the difficult scaling and everything with how the 2 games are, because basically they made the PSP game 1 game out of 2 games. So like your progress of your levels and everything carry over into what is basically Popo Loco Crisis 2 on the PSP version, instead of like, you know, like restarting like a whole new game and that. So like its final boss is actually like mid-game content of Popo Loco Crisis 1 in the PSP game. It's kind of weird, so. But that's about most I know about Popo Loco Crisis, so. It was interesting to find some other entries. Summon Night 4. I don't have a lot of Summon Night games. We only got, like, I think 2 Summon Night games in America, and I've saw a lot of these. Honestly, if I had more space, I would probably came back with like 4 other entries. But I ran out of space. Like I barely got what I fucking bought back. And like my first big mistake was bringing a week's worth of clothing. If you go to Japan and you want to buy video games, especially a lot of video games, just bring like 2 sets of outfits and just keep washing them or something. Like you'll need the fucking space. You'll need the space unless you're gonna pay for extra luggage. Now this. So I don't know if this is a unique iToy play or if this is one of the iToy plays that came to America and it just has, you know, completely different cover art. What was interesting about it is, as you can see, it was 100 yen. So if you ever heard of a junk shop in Japan, a junk shop is basically a shop that sells stuff that has high potential of being junk or just needs fixed or repaired and stuff like that. And like everything there was 100 yen. Just everything. Like there was all kinds of ridiculous fucking shit there. And it was like 100 yen. So you could not check the disc or anything. Like this was taped closed to that. So I took a gamble on it because I saw it at several other stores for like 500 yen, and I was like, eh. For 100 yen, I was like, sure, I guess why not. I think it might just be a Japanese branded of the OG iToy game. I'm not really sure, but the disc is a little like. So, is the disc horrible? So, looking at the disc, it looks like basically what you would probably see at fucking GameStop or any store that doesn't buff its discs. So honestly, that's basically a pretty normal looking disc in America used store that as shop that has no buffer. So that's kind of interesting to see that's enough to make it considered junk. So that was kind of interesting. A sample game from the sample series. This is a hack and slash samurai looking game. I believe it was 400 yen, so I was like, sure, why not? Again, these are complete too. The other Popo Local Crisis game. So that first one was like 600 or 500 yen. This was only like fucking 150 yen. So I don't know if this was just considered a bad entry or something. I don't know. Like I just surprised how cheap these are. They're complete with disc, book, and everything, and look fine and good, and was sealed in plastic. Like, some of these is like, is it even worth sealing these things in fucking plastic for the price you're selling them for? Like, what are you getting in these cheap plastic sleeves? Like, it's just mind blowing. One of the Sakura War games, I think this was called Mystery in Paris. So I was double checking to make sure it wasn't the one that actually did get localized in America, which was on PS2 and the Wii. But this was not, from what I looked up. It was like 400 yen. So getting complete with everything in it. I just amazed how complete these are and how fucking cheap. Now that's not to say there aren't expensive games in Japan though. The illegal. Melt them in what? Whoa, what? Oh dear, I'm not sure if that came out the way you meant it to be, or I don't know. I didn't do it, Twitch. It wasn't me. I'm innocent. I didn't do this. Anyway, looking into awards too much that. Yeah, like, I just kind of, like, you know, stuff I import, I always, like, said, like, I'm amazed how complete the shit is all the time, that, but, like, it's, like, seeing these prices so fucking low for this stuff, and then, like, they're complete, like, this is, like, lower than, like, American prices. You're lucky to probably see anything lower than fucking, like, $5 or something. Half the time, without being on some crazy weird sale or something of Walmart's brain farts or something. But, speaking of that, so I do have 1 and 2. I never had Xenosaga 3. And as anyone for the PS2 knows, Xenosaga 3 is ungodly expensive. Well, the Japanese version is ungodly cheap as fuck, so I just was like, I guess, maybe if I ever get around to doing that, I at least have some way to play through it. Some way. Now, here's 2, I don't know if these are related to each other. These were both by Namco. Aesthetically, they have a little bit of similarity in the gameplay of the characters' looks, so I don't know, like, it is different, but it also, like the armor in that looks kind of similar to some of the characters. So, I don't know. I like the aesthetic of this one more. So, this was, again, this was actually at that same store with the FromSoft. This was, I believe, 1,100 yen. But it has a very interesting aesthetic art style to it. Oh, wait, never mind. Stickle says it was 1,880 yen. Okay, that was a little bit more than. Did that other ones? I didn't see that on the. Yeah, those other ones don't have it on them. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so that one has it. So Okay, so that one was a bit more then. I am trying to remember some of this off the top of my head. I have actually seen this on eBay. I came across it before, and it was about $30, I think, on there or that. So that's a lot cheaper, so I snagged that up. Now this one, like I said, has a different art style to it. Definitely on the cover, for sure. But like some of the characters' armor on that in the screenshots, while still being a very different aesthetic, kind of look like some of the characters on that other one. So I don't know if this has any relation to that or anything. But yeah, I grabbed it just on the off chance maybe it does, but I don't know. And I think that should be everything that was from the Japan trip, I think that is. Let's see. Don't... because I'm pretty sure I opened all those, so those should be other stuff. So, okay, I think we're done with the Japan trip stuff. So, yeah. Pretty decent haul of stuff, and like I said, the majority of it was cheap as fuck. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Anyway, oh man, this stuff is all over the place here. Oof. All over the place. Yes, somewhere, because we still got a lot of shit to go through here. Okay. Because you're all oddly shaped for it. Where's all the Gundams? I think you missed, I think you might have missed me showing off this one for 200 yen. Now, there was a lot of Gundam games, and a lot of them were cheap. Now, the thing is, I have some of the SD Gundam games. Not tons of them. Generally, the problem was I couldn't really 100% identify all the ones I did and didn't have. So, I kind of just was like, I don't want to end up buying a bunch of dupes. Oh, figures. I do have some stuff, some gotcha capsule stuff. I bought a Nanachi plushie. I bought some Made in Abyss t-shirts and stuff, but that will be for a different video. This is just focusing on game pickups. I am going to make several different videos talking about different things on the Japan trip. I think the idea is I'm going to break it up into tourism, video game stores, and tips and stuff about that. And probably a video talking about tips about going to Japan in general. That's probably the kind of breakup I'm going to do related. And I might do, like, I guess maybe a separate video talking about all the stuff I bought from Japan, maybe, or just mash that up into the video game store topic one or that. But that's down the road. I have thousands of fucking video of photos I need to go through. So that probably won't be an immediate thing, but that's stuff to look forward to that. Anyway, we got still a lot of fucking games here to go through at that. So we need to mash through these really fast here. So let's start the speed one through the remaining of what we have here. So some of this stuff is a few things from Florida and other things I got from some. So from Florida, I picked up Armed and Dangerous for $12. It usually goes for about like 20. So I was kind of like, okay, sure, why not? I didn't have it. It's supposed to be a funny. This was probably the expensivest game I got when I went to Florida to visit some friends. I think I paid $30 for it. It doesn't look like it has any pricing on it. The guy store we went to, because my friend wasn't a big gaming type person. He's a big muscle dude. He joins lakes as workouts. So, this guy's game store was apparently like only open for like a month, so he was still like arranging stuff. He didn't have like everything priced, so he was doing the classic pull phone and look up price charting strat, which is shitty, honestly. I got this at a thrift store in the local area. It was only like $4, so I was like, it's complete, it's Capcom, so I was like, I guess, why not? I like some golf. I haven't played a golf game in a while. This was a few months ago. I got it at GameStop. I used my $5 coupon thing on it. I didn't have Bloody War 3, so got this at Goodwill, I think, or was it that thrift store? I don't remember. No, wait. No, that's the pawn shop thing. The pawn shop in the town where I work. Now I remember. I got this up there for like $10 or something. It's complete in good condition. This I got at the thrift store for $5. The Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Don't know if I'll ever play this version, but yeah, I mean, it was in good condition. It was $5, so I thought, like, at worst, maybe I could sell it down the road. If it's anything like the GameCube version of Twilight Princess, it probably has the potential of going up. Also bought that same thrift store. I never heard of this Ball Breakers. It looked weird. It was only $5 complete, so I was like, sure. This was from Florida. This is a PS1 game on a anime. It's some kind of fighting game of that. So I picked it up. I think it was like 15, I think, of that, if I remember quickly. Got this at GameStop. Used the $5 coupon on it, my monthly coupon thing. So I didn't have that. Bought that. The one game store that's in this area that opened up recently, which is kind of mixed. I got this, the Pinball Quest. It's in nice condition for $15. I used some credit I got from them. They are very picky about the stuff they take in, which on one hand I get, because GameStop buys a lot of fucking junk and then ends up with a lot of junk they try to get rid of or throw away and shit. But at the same time, half the time I don't get like what they do or decide to buy or shit. This was something I got for cheap off Video Games Plus a long time with some Wet Art game that was in limbo for a while. So I think this was like $10 or $15. That it's just some old Sega games with a 3D mode on them. Nothing too incredibly crazy. From that little game store that's picky about picking up stuff, though, I did get the Minish Cap from them for $70. Shit, no. I did some flipping and I had quit with them, so technically I probably got for more around $50 probably, which is a much better price, honestly. But yeah, I had never gotten the Minish Cap. It's one of the few Zelda games that slipped through the cracks and became too expensive, so yeah, so I got that now. That's something we can actually look to doing. And we still have so much shit. This is a shmup game. It's from a little company that does a few physical releases of their own games. Then you might probably have noticed for a long time this big box Lisa Bundle of Joy. This is Lisa the Painful and Lisa the Joyful combined. This is a console version. This is PS5 version. I am aware the PS5 version had some censorship with drugs or something, which is incredibly confusing and weird, but I guess Sony's a bunch of sacks of shit these days, so what can you do? Yeah, so I've never played the Joyful. I played through the Painful. It's normal mode, so what I might do with this is play through Painful mode, because that has an additional ending and content and bosses on top of this console version having additional content. So I might play through the Painful mode of the Pain and, play through Joyful, because I never got around to actually playing that, so that might be something to look forward to. I really did enjoy that game. Twin Blades, Three Kingdoms, this was a Play Asia release. Is a very blah looking tactics game. I mean, blah. This was on sale when I bought it, so this was, I mean, very, like, RPG Maker games look better than this. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, that, I don't know who the fuck made that, honestly. Double D Collection. This is a shmup. I have no idea why it's called Double D, though. Who knows? So, I don't know if it's like 2 games. Doesn't mention 2 games, so I'm just assuming it's supposed to be a booba joke, probably. You know. Anyway, that's a shmup game. That was also a PlayAsia release. Let's see. We got Fran which I think, if I remember correctly, was kind of like a spooky clock tower looking game. Yep. Let's see, moving on, we got Hawk. Don't know anything about this. Super Whale game. Super Whale games. Then we got Ship of Fools. Again, one I'm not familiar with. Then I think I might have already had this, but I needed something to use my $5 coupon on, and I wasn't 100% sure. It was just before my trip to Japan, or I was going to lose the $5 coupon, so I took the risk. Hopefully I didn't already have it, but I might. I couldn't. They Are Billions. This looked like a very interesting game. This is the Asian English version. This, like, you build, like, it looked like, looking at the pictures in that, it has like a Civilization or Age of Empires top-down kind of view thing, and you build like a base to survive zombies and shit. Sounds really neat, so I got that. Now, Limited One Games did a version of that themselves too. That time I got Recarded as a Slime, got a game, and I bought the physical PS5 version of that. It has English on it. Might Magic Clash of Heroes. This was originally a DS game. Limited One Games did the physical version for the Wii Master. Colossus Caves, not familiar with it. Metal Tales Overkill. This was on a Video Games Plus sale. There's I think there's like 4 games from this publisher I got from a Video Games Plus sale that was like fucking $5-10 each of that. 2 Point Hospital. Now here's something I'm excited about. The Stockel collection here, Legend of the Zone. So this is supposed to be, I believe, 3 Stockel games brought to console for the first time ever. So as far as I know, these have never came to console. So this is neat. I've always heard really good things about Stockel games. Like, I've always heard, if you don't like some of the comedy humor of like a Fallout game, that the Stockel series is a really good series to check out. That Onimusha Warriors game. I don't think I got that at GameStop. I think I got that at that pawn shop for really cheap or something. That I think. Not 100% sure. Shadow Colossus got a Video Game Plus sale. I bought this off a PlayAsia sale, I think. No, wait, no. This was a no. This was a Video Games Plus sale. It was a Wii Point sale. Now, I do have the Switch version of that, but I grabbed that because I'm just stupid. Sword Art Online. And then here's this. So, this game was really expensive, but then Video Games Plus did a Wii Point, and yeah, whether it will go back up in price, that don't know, but I was glad because I didn't have that yet. The Killing Floor double feature. This is the VR game and Killing Floor 2. I already had Killing Floor 2. I did not have a physical copy of Killing Floor include the VR game. But yeah, I did have a digital version. That one of the few times I ever got like a code thing to like show off gameplay and stuff. I was actually given a code for that, so that kind of shocked me. Void Bastards. Now, Blazing Blue Cross Tag Battle. This came out in America, and it was considered a big disappointment. It had shitloads of fucking DLC, and a lot of people had sliced out gameplay DLC syndrome with the game. So this has a crossover with a bunch of stuff. Blaze Blues, Guilty Gear, Persona, and stuff and that. Now, this version is a more comprehensive version, but sadly a lot of that content is a code, is not on the disc build. So it is a bit of a mixed bag for a physical collector. This was on sale for super fucking cheap though, so I thought I think that worked for me. The American version last I saw still actually sold used for some not worth it. Camco RPG, shocking, nobody. Giga Bash, not familiar with. Now here's something I was excited about. So, I can't remember what it was called. It was like a Metroidvania game with like a bunny killer. Pad's familiar with it. That got a physical version. It was like the first or second release strictly limited games ever did. So this is the first game that person did, as far as I'm aware of, at least. And for some reason, it never got picked up by anyone. Then Wet Art Games did this edition of it. So I was excited to finally see this get a physical edition, and excited to have it in my hands now. This was on sale. This is apparently some kind of mystery game. Looks kind of weird. It was cheap. I always give some a try if it's for the right price, you know. Now you have the Under Night in both. It's a fighting game. Just a little familiar with it. Myth Force? Yeah, Myth Force. Don't know anything about it. Now, Castlevania Advance Collection. Now, this is exciting to me because while this collection is for Game Boy stuff, the Game Boy Advance specifically. One title on here is not Game Boy Advance. It is Dracula X, which was the Super Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom knockoff of the Castlevania travel game that was on the PC, the TurboGrafx. The TurboGrafx PC. That is a very expensive Castlevania game. If you ever want to play that version, it is very expensive. So that was a really nice addition to put on that. It's weird collection to put with the Game Boy Advance games, but I'm not complaining. That is basically the only reason I have this, because I have all the Game Boy Advance games and being them. So that's not as big of a deal to me, though. One of the Yakuza games, this one did not get a physical version in America, or I don't think anywhere in the West, actually. So the Asian Japanese versions were the only way to get it physically. It does have English on it, so that's all good and dandy. Pillow, this was a Wet Art game. This was a much earlier Wet Art game. It was on cheap sale, so it's supposed to be some kind of puzzle game. It was something I originally skipped, but because they made it really cheap, I grabbed a copy. Sniper Elite 5, it was like $5 at Walmart. 10 Dates, this is just a full motion blah. It was a limited one junk. Honestly, should have skipped on it. Fashion Police Squad. This actually looks kind of interesting. It has a very nice aesthetic to it. Then we have Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which, if I'm accurate, only got a physical release on the 360 originally. If I'm remembering properly. I think I'm remembering. Feel free to correct me if I am wrong. Then we have this game was in fucking hell. Oh, was that the? I think the disc is loose. Give me a second. Either the disc is loose or there's something else in now. I hate when discs are loose. I know somebody's probably screaming right now. It's like, no, he's opening it. No, the value. Oh, the humanity. Yeah, there's just something else in it. Okay. Got like some weird pop out cardboard thing you can make the suit with, it looks like. Anyway, so this was this is a FPS type game. It has a very retro aesthetic. This was pre-ordered for quite a while, actually. Took forever for it to fucking come out. This is a 2D side-scrolling kind of game. No pictures in the back as a slipcover. It how should I say? Kind of reminds me of some of those Vanilla Whale type games. So it looked interesting. That was a Wet Arts game. That was a pre-order, and where's a? This was the This was a shmup series. This was done by Strictly Limited. One more stack left. Oh boy, and we got some limited box stuff. This was on sale on Woot.com. It is the Harvest Moon Story of Seasons. This, I think, was a port, the Wonderful Life. So that was the GameCube entry, I believe. This was sale on Woot.com. It was cheap. The classic excuse. It was cheap. Boo Party. This is from the Funbox media publisher. This is a PAL version. So this is a spooky, like, I mean, not really spooky, but I don't really know about, but it has a really funny aesthetic to it. So I was kind of like, why not? It looks like something that might be fun, maybe. This I got on sale when Walmart was selling all that shit. It was $5. It's an exercise game. Probably not really worth it. Probably. This was a Wet Arts game, Falling Out. It kind of really reminds me of Spelunky. It's like two-player Spelunky. So, let's see. Then Skyward Sword I got from that thrift store for $5. Goat Simulator, $5 at Walmart. Saw 2 terrible watered down cover art, and it sadly has a small little scratch on the top of the disc, but because of that I was able to actually get the price knocked down a lot. Yeah, probably still way too much still. I don't even remember. That was like 3 months ago when I got that. I don't remember exactly how much, but it was on sale. That so, it's cheaper than what it is normally. I was not familiar with there being a Strider game on the PS3. I learned about it in a YouTube video, and was able to quickly snag a copy on eBay for a very okay price. Got this for $5 at that thrift store, and this should be Now, this game was pretty notable because it was considered quite horrible. Like, NIS actually, like, put a apology out there because the quality of this game. This was $5 at that thrift store, too. I had never gotten it, so it's like, okay, so here's some of that stuff that was on sale at Video Games Plus. This is a mystery game where you play as a bunch of animals. Let's see, this was a limited one game. It's a shmup game. Not familiar with that particular entry. This was from that Video Game Plus sale. Vampire Masquerade game. Werewolf game. Mozart's. This was from a GameStop sale. It's some kind of adventure game. Got for cheap. Nightmare Weeper. That was that Switch game they had. Grandia from Limited One. Still think was a missed opportunity not to have Grandia Museum localized for the first time in that, or Paratroopers. Like, I don't get why they're not trying to pursue stuff like that too. Because I mean, they have done like 2 collections, I believe, where they'll where like the Japanese version had no English, but they went in and actually English-fied them. They did it for that one River City Ransom collection, so they can do it. See, Russian Subway Dogs, not familiar, has a cute art style though. Midnight Fight Express. Now, Sandland, I got this the PS4 version on sale on Amazon for like $20. So this is from that infamous meme, Limited Whale Games, not to be confused with Super Whale Games, that does all these stupid meme things. This thing was a pain in the ass to actually get, and I heard it's not very worth it, to be honest. Larry Wet Dreams. This is, I believe, 2 Larry Suit Larry games, I believe. I don't know if they're reimaginings or new entries. I'm not really familiar with the more modern Larry Suit Larry games. Quake 2, that was a limited 1 release. Dragon Panamon, no, Kimco game. Jurassic Park Collection, which has a whole bunch of Jurassic Park shit. You have Jurassic Park Portable, Jurassic Park 8-bit, Jurassic Park 16-bit, Jurassic Park Genesis, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition Genesis, Jurassic Park 2 The Chaos Continues Portable, Jurassic Park 2 The Chaos Continues 16-bit. So, pretty good collection of a lot of Jurassic Park games. I think the only one I ever really played was the Genesis one that's realistic looking, where like the T-Rex bursts through, and the I think it was the SNES one, which is kind of Doom-like when you go in the buildings. Other than that, I'm pretty much unfamiliar with the Jurassic Park game, so nice collection if you need some of those. The newest Double Dragon game, which I hear has a lot of fun crossover gimmicky things in it, the Wise of the Dragons, or it had unlockable characters or something like that. I don't quite remember. It's the newest one. It was pretty cheap. I think it came out $19.99. This was on sale on Woot.com. I wasn't really familiar with it. I thought it was like a visual novel, but it's actually some kind of actual fucking video game, because like looking at the back, it has video game shit, so it was kind of like, oh. Naruto, this was on that Walmart sale. It was like $10. Now, this was on sale. That is not the price I got it for. It was on sale, I think, for $35.99 at a GameStop sale, and I used my coupon on it. So, this is a spin-off thing. It's some kind of weird clothing dress-up simulator, which is kind of a shame, because like there's a actual FPS dungeon game they made, which you know, they haven't said any plans of actually publishing that or localizing that. So still, you know, fun. Apparently, Pad said this also had like some like digital little mini game thing with the Japanese version, which I asked about when that got announced, and they said that was not going to be coming out. So that's a bit of a shame. Course of the Dead Gods, that was a limited one. I think this was Widow. No, this is a limited one as well. Shady Part of Me, not familiar with it. Not familiar with this either. Now, the Sorrow Virus has an interesting aesthetic on the cover art. That it looks like some kind of spooky game. That Ultra Age, I think this was a limited one game, yeah. Looks like a hack and slash type game. Not too familiar with it. Then we got Loon Arc. This is a Way Forward game, oddly enough. It's actually on itch.io if you want DRM free. Then we got Kong Fury Street Wage, which is a beat 'em up. That was that was a limited one on that one as well. Another game from, oh no, it's the, damn it, I hate when these discs are loose. especially these games that go up in a lot of value, you know. Maybe I want to retire off these shitty horror games, you know. Maybe I want to retire off of them and just be like, yay. I hate when these come loose. It could have made these cases like the PS3, but no. They have to be shitty. PS3 actually had good cases. But no, we can't have good cases. Why would we want that? Anyway, this was from that limited whale games again, which was also horrible pain. Supposedly it's better than the newer one they did with the witch, though. Apparently it's the same developer. You're probably like trapped at a circus running away from the clown in that one. Now, here, Kickstarter. The only way to get the PS4 version of this game in the ESRB is through the Kickstarter. Retail did not come out here in America for PS4. So potentially this could actually become the more expensive version of this in the ESRB branch, maybe. Potentially. Either way, from what I hear, this game came out broken. I don't know if there's been any tests on the PS4 version. I'm kind of hoping maybe it'll work out better, maybe, or something. That, or maybe the Switch will eventually get a more updated build, since those sometimes do get that. But it was sad to hear the game came out broken with game-breaking progressional bugs in it. So, my enthusiasticness to want to play it kind of broke down from hearing that. And this was a NIS game here. I'm not really sure what kind of game it is. It was cheap though. It's a Japanese game, you know. It looks like it's some kind of. I mean, honestly, the pictures really don't tell me much. It shows one close-up of somebody with a 21 hit and somebody holding their hand out, and then a picture that looks like a 2D picture of somebody sitting in the corner with something in the background. Doesn't really tell me a whole lot. I probably looked up a video. I just probably don't really remember what the fuck it was like. And there we go, boys. There we go. We went through all the newest shit. It only took 2 hours. Holy fuck. Get a few games done, and you end up with a few hundred new ones. Ay, caramba. When can I retire, please? Anyway. Just quickly go over streaming-wise, so... I do plan on all streaming things to go normal by next weekend. I don't know about doing the shorty stream tomorrow because, like I said, I am suffering some jet lag. So I might just take the time to kind of focus on chilling. The more bigger main reason is I have a German friend who's actually visiting areas in Missouri and a few different friends, and he would like to visit me on Monday, which is the bigger reason why I will probably not be doing the Monday Shorty stream, because it feels like a shame not to hang out some, you know, while he's here. This is his last week, so I'm back from Japan, so I did coordinate with him some about trying to hang out a little, so but anyway, that is pretty much everything on that front. So things should be returning normalish by next weekend. I don't know what overtime's been going on at work. I'm hoping it slowed down, hopefully, because I don't want to work overtime this week. I usually never want to, anyway. But yeah, that is what it is, though. We'll have to see how that turns out. I just hope it's a normal work week, if anything, and if better, hopefully just slow down a lot. But we'll see how it turns out. Anyway, though, take it easy, everyone. I will see you all next time. So it's good to be back home and that. Got a lot of things to still do, though. So. Yeah, but I have a lot of T-shirts and other little doodads to show off for like the Japan stuff. So look forward to that. So peace out.